tell us a little bit about what life was like before we looked at your brand. So where you were with what you were doing and what some of the issues were around having a brand that maybe wasn't quite as congruent as it could be.
Yeah, so my old brand was Equilibrium Business Consulting. And I think a lot of people, especially women and mums in life, want to strike a good balance in their life and their business. And that's something that I've come to realise that I'd like to get a bit better balance in my life as well. But the problem with that brand and that name was that it can also breed a bit of complacency, and it can also be a little bit still. And really what I'm all about in my life and my business is about movement and transformation and challenging the norms and the way people think about things and structure their businesses. And so it wasn't really serving me very well.
And I remember when we first met, we were talking about your brand and you asked me, what do you think of this brand name? And my response was, well, look, it's a lovely brand. It looks nice. It's all about, and in reality, your background is accountancy, isn't it? And we've got that gorgeous story, which I love to share, about how when you were small, I don't know, how old were you when your family was doing the milk run?
About 5 or 6, yeah.
5 or 6 years old, and you hated going out and helping the family with the milk run. It was dark, it was not nice work, but you loved the part about counting the money at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. We had that old plastic coin sorter where you put all the coins at the top and they'd slide down and they'd be all sorted out down the bottom, and I just loved the sounds and the smells and all that kind of thing, and handling all the coins.
So not surprisingly, you got into accounting and you learned that as a trade. So it's a beautiful story. The nicest thing about the brand that I saw that you had was it had a link to that whole balancing books and so on. And I remember saying to you, when you asked me that question, what do you think about the brand, was, well, look, we won't know. We won't know until we've gone through the process of figuring out who you are and what your brand really stands for and what creates meaning for you. We won't know if that brand's going to hold up or not.
I think before we started, I was quite attached to the brand, but I kept an open mind. When you started doing your own research and you first said to me the name Wildfire, I just knew. And you kept going and you kept saying more names and different things about wind and fire and all this kind of thing. I went, no, that's it. I know that's the one. Brilliant. So what's happened now that you've changed? So you've changed from Equilibrium Business Consulting to Wildfire Business, which is quite different in feeling. Very different in feeling.
So what's happened in terms of your attitude towards your brand and the way that you feel about the way that you've named now and positioned?
One of the biggest things I've noticed is my energy level. So with the old brand, when I thought about it, when I was writing articles and things like that, I came from a place of sort of stillness. Whereas when I'm thinking about Wildfire, when I'm writing, when I'm thinking about my clients, I'm coming more from a place of movement and from transformation and how you can sweep through a business and take away all those things that aren't working. So for me, it's really important that when people are starting out in business and at various points along their journey, that they stop and reflect on their purpose and see whether that's still where they want to head with their business. A lot of people in the wellness industry have branched out and they're speaking. They're inspiring hundreds or thousands of people in the world. So they're spreading their message. So they're reaching more people, and they can also see they're having a greater impact.
Brilliant. I love it. So that whole thing, it hasn't just fired you up, it's fired your clients up as well.
Yeah. Some of the networking events that I go to and some of the speaking engagements I've had, I've been talking to people and they've said to me that they've stopped doing the hourly rate model. After they heard me speak, that they reflected on the way that they add value to their clients, and they've actually moved away from that, and they've started developing packages and programs and that sort of thing for their clients, and it's actually being received really well. One of the beauties of having a strong brand and knowing your own purpose is that when events and things like that pop up, you know immediately whether that event is for you and it's worth your time and it's worth the investment. I think that what a lot of people don't realise about going through a branding process is that it's a lot more than a name and colours and logos. It's actually about getting to really know yourself And sometimes that might sound easy, but I actually found it a bit of a struggle at times, that because you've got to dig really deep inside yourself, and you're questioning your why, your purpose in life, and who you really want to help and how you want to help them.